Live from the Outpost Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Brought to you by IPMNation.com. Get ready for the gong heard round the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good evening and welcome. They tell me it's the 365th episode. So thank you for stopping by, 365, of the #1 rated show here on IPMNation.com. As you know by now, IPMNation.com/TR. Now you're in to All Natural Being, and the gong, as you just heard, the gong heard round the world, broadcast as it happens live. Thanks to our friends at Telestream's Wirecast, broadcast live right here on IPMNation.com, and now multicast live on Facebook, YouTube, over on allnaturalbeing.com, and the new Brian Brawdy app. But however you come to hang with us, we're always pumped to have you. Matter of fact, thrilled to be able to spend our evenings with you live from the Transitional Radio uplink here in Columbus, Ohio. 39.5 degrees north of the equator. I just think that's the coolest thing. With rebroadcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all the other usual suspects. Greetings wherever you are here in the Garden of the Mortals. And what a gig it is to be a human. Because ultimately, winning or whining, it's up to you and me. Because life, it's our labyrinth, our shot at running the table as we see fit. The hell with your critics. What do they know about putting your heart's highest priority top of your list? So it's time to ignore them and own your primal scream. Don't place it on the back burner. Leave it in the junk drawer. We're talking about front and center, right on the tip of your lips where it belongs. That's why we're here, to be your friendly force, to be your blue force, always putting, as I said earlier, your heart's highest priority, top of the list, reinstalling and reinstating the true wit and wisdom, and I dare say wallop of your inner whisper, rebooting your robust, finding your ferocious, all in time to out-brutal the brutal that can be the cut and shuffle that face deals you on a daily basis, and to decide right now, make the decision to bring your own bold once and for all. But before we hit it this evening, as every evening, I'd like to say hello to my friends here in the United States, Canada, Mexico, the UK, my good friends in Ecuador, China, the Philippines, Brazil, India, Australia, Germany, Italy, France, Nigeria, Japan, Turkey, Thailand, Singapore, Belgium, Sweden, Israel, Egypt, South Africa, Kenya, Puerto Rico, the Netherlands, Colombia, Greece, Ireland, Peru, Poland. Thank you all so very much from around the globe for joining us. It's great to have you with us. And we're going to talk a little bit tonight about the world record, because pretty soon we're going to look to add every country in the world. Either way, I'm truly fired up to be driving your bandwagon, to be your virtual hitchhiker if you're out and about on the go. But I'm your biggest fan. It's a thrill to be avidly you. So before we jump into tonight's show, as always, let me ask you, why let anyone hijack your cognition? Why let anyone play you like a sock puppet? The good news is the days of needlessly torturing ourselves by being someone else's tool, well, they're over. The moment we decide to take life into our own hands. So ultimately, what are we waiting for? What time could be more perfect than now? Here's your opportunity to mortal up. So what do you say? Let's go kick in some doors. Ooh, that's a nice little spider. I've never seen that thing before. All right, even the spiders are stopping by here in the studio. I hope you're well, as always. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. I want to get over on the thread, excuse me, as I get the volume adjusted here just right. But I want you to know today we got our big, I guess you could say we got our big email that we've been waiting for all this time. But first, before we get into the email, let me say hello to John and to Candace. Thank you so very much. Marie, thank you so very much. Hey, you all, right back at you. Heather, good evening. Nice to see you. Alice, nice to see you. Mary, thank you so very much. Henry, thank you so very much for joining us here, as you know, at All Natural Being. Joseph Haggerty, greetings and salutations, brother, to you as well. So before we jump into tonight's show, I threw up a little bit of Ernest Shackleton in the post leading up to this, and it basically just says, paraphrasing it, that our obstacles are our opportunities, right? That in the end, struggle is really there just to teach us something about ourselves. So that's what I want to talk about this evening. Do you and I at times maybe look at our struggles, look at our obstacles as a little more than speed bumps? Do we look at them as full-on brick walls? Maybe do we look at them as opposed to cul-de-sacs? We look at them at dead ends. And ultimately, what can we do so that when fate attempts to reach out and chop block us, we're able to say, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to fall for that. But I want to get to this quickly so we can get it in and get it out of the way. We got our official letter today from Guinness World Records. Welcome. Congratulations. You've decided to go for the world's record. Good evening, Rita. Rita says, there is always a lesson to be learned. Amen. Absolutely. Thank you for joining us, Rita. So Guinness says, here's a whole list of the rules. Here's the whole list of things that you're going to do. But yes, you're entered into the ability. And which is really funny because I thought they would send a little something and go, okay, yes, congratulations, pop the champagne, maybe some streamers, this kind of thing. But all they said was, okay, we're just standing by waiting for your proof. Right? So they're like, hey, good luck. Now go get it. Which I thought was really kind of interesting, right? Because it's already in their mind that you're not going to give up till you get the record. And for me, getting into radio, and I've had a chance to talk to some really cool people this last few days over at a convention that I was doing in Columbus. And they go, why in God's good name did you ever decide to get into radio? And I said, well, I realized after one of my initial surgeries that I now had a face for radio. And oddly enough, all the clients that I had just prior to being identified with a brain tumor, just prior, and you can imagine I had to take 2 or 3 months off. All those clients, they're gone. So I knew that in order to do it, I knew that fate would win if I let it derail me. And I just sat around, and I think the quote was, what was it? I was going to be a house husband. And I had to realize at that moment, are you going to take that title or are you going to make it work? Are you going to figure out a way to mortal up? Are you going to figure out a way to look at your obstacles as in fact that is opportunities? Right? Paraphrasing Shackleton again, which I absolutely love the story of Ernest Shackleton. And there's a couple of explorers right now that are trying to do a solo push across Antarctica, unsupported. No wind in their sails like the last guy. No having, your supplies dropped off along the way and you just check your GPS and you go from cache to cache to cache. Good evening, Jenny. Thank you for hanging out with us here at All Natural Being. And I should take note of the fact that Jenny's on now and to thank her and the Matt and the good team at IPMNation.com. I love the new website, by the way. Looks absolutely great. Thank you all for everything that you do and that you continue to do to help keep us on the air every evening. All the guests and all the hosts here at IPM Nation, on behalf of everyone, thank you so very much. So we were talking about Ernest Shackleton and everything that he did. If you've ever get a chance to read about the endurance and just the whole what the Nimrod went through in an attempt to find that water passage. And you look at some of these explorers, and there's explorers right now Two of them, as a matter of fact, that are getting ready. I think one's an Army captain. There was a great guy that just died last year trying it, but there's an Army captain. There's, I guess, a YouTube personal, like a YouTube star that's trying for it and training for it. But imagine 90 some days, temperatures well below anything that I've ever experienced, even at Yellowstone at 50 below zero. Temperatures, just the definition of extreme, and they're going to try to do it unsustained, meaning no assistance from the outside. About over 300 pounds of stuck in their polk sled, right? And they're going to ski, pull it behind them, everything they need to survive. So then you look at my little attempt to mortal up. You look at that attempt and you go, man, that's got Lewis and Clark written all over it. And if you look at some of the things our ancestors did in order to be able to survive, they didn't let little hiccups. They didn't let little things get in their way and derail what they wanted to do. As Joseph Haggerty says, because it's there. The exploration, the adventure. Why do we do it? La Aventura, something about to happen. Why do we do it? Because it's there. And we're called to mortal up. And as I say, these two explorers are getting ready to embark. It might be any day now that they're getting ready to leave. So what was going to be just a race against the clock, a race against nature itself, it's going to turn out to be a race now to see which one of them can make it. And of course, we wish them both luck. Marcellus, good evening. Thank you for joining us, brother. Nice to see your face pop up as always. But let me ask you, when you think about mortal up, we're going to do this little thing, the Guinness World Records, because like now they officially accepted it. How can I say no, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I got to, the tumor 25. I'm going to have to get back in the shape I was, last year. But now that they've accepted, then they've gone on to make this up, because as I may have mentioned, they're like, oh, well, you have to be at what they called a terrestrial radio station. And I go, good golly, I've built quite a little radio get up here. I don't know how to use all the knobs and all the sliders, all the different things here, but I've done my best to build, a little bit of a radio station. Good evening, Matt. Thank you for joining us. And most certainly with the help of Matt Connerton, most certainly with the help of the gang at Sweetwater, Patrick and the like, teaching me, the gear that I'm going to need and everything else. I built a nice little radio station, so I kind of pushed back a little bit when they said, nah, no thank you if you don't work for a real radio station, right? You don't work for a real radio station. Yeah, we don't think it's going to work. So I petitioned to say, well, I'd ask you to reconsider if you don't mind. Here's how we're going to do it. Here's how the proof's going to come. Right? They want different people to come in and actually prove that you're doing it. And I go, great, let's broadcast the whole thing on Facebook. Let's go 81 to win. Let's go 81 hours. So at any time you want to poke in, see what's going on, you'll be able to verify for yourself that we've hit the record. Joseph says, hope no penguins get harmed in the process. Yeah, I'm with you, right? Baby seals, penguin, you got to watch for them all. But the 81 to win, think about it. Here's something that arguably, I bet there's things in your life where you go, you know what? I'm really not all that great at it. And if you've been watching, then I'm really not all that great at radio. But you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm still going to try it. I'm still going to mortal up. I'm still going to square my shoulders with fate. And I'm going to do what I can to pull it off. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do what I can to make it work. So the question that I have for you is, what are those opportunities in your life? What are some of those difficulties that sometimes you let derail you where you go, yeah, they're difficulties, but they're great lessons, and I'm going to mortal up, I'm going to square my shoulders, and I'm going to do it. Candace says survival is interesting thing to think about. Indeed it is. My friend, indeed it is. And I've been exposed to, of late, a lot of people that have been in a hell of a lot worse way than I have, but they still mortal up. They get up every day. Yes, their life, as I said last evening, their life might be cracked, but they stand there and look at the cracks and wait for the light to come through. So my question to you is, again, what difficulties are there in your life? What speed bumps, what hurdles, what cul-de-sacs are in your life where you get to go, I'm just not going to take being second anymore. I'm going to go for, right? And I used to say all the time when I used to do this outdoor adventure stuff where I would travel to really wild places and do television about it and videos about it and talk about survival gear. And people would say all the time, oh, there's nowhere left. Good evening, Lee. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. Thank you and the good folks at Sales Copy Academy for being the official time sponsor here at All Natural Being, and vicariously going to be the official time sponsor, I can now announce, for the 81 to win. 81 hours to pull off the world record. But getting back to outdoor adventure, people used to say, well, there's no place left to explore. Humans have walked all over the place. And if someone knows the exact number, please, I don't. Someone just hop in and let me know. But, there's what? There's 11 or 12 men have walked on the face of the moon. And I used to say to people, oh, there's nowhere left to explore. Outdoor adventure isn't worth it. There's no place that hasn't been spoiled by a human footprint. And I would ask folks, well, I think it's 11 is the number. But if someone can tell me how many astronauts have walked on the moon, how many astronauts have actually stepped down onto the lunar surface, and they go, okay, the number's 11. And I go, given the opportunity to walk on the moon, would you? Even though 11 people have been there before you, wouldn't you take the opportunity, if you could, to walk on the moon? If nothing else, you could look back and say, oh, well, flat Earth, round Earth, globe, plane, whatever it is. You'd know, I suspect. But wouldn't you take the opportunity to walk on the moon, even though everyone else has been there? 11 some people, whatever it is. Henry says, I don't have any hurdles in my life, except for some guy with a shunt. Yeah, I know what you mean. Joseph says, under the sea. Heather says, yes, I would take the opportunity to walk on the moon, as would I, Heather. Thank you, Marcellus, very much. I share with my friend Denise. I told her of your great show. Thank you, brother, very much. I appreciate it. But the point I was trying to make, though, is wouldn't you walk on the surface of the earth, even though everyone else had done it before? So if it's new to you, it's an adventure. That's what I used to say. That was kind of like my tagline. Oh, well, I don't want to walk the Appalachian Trail. I don't want to go to Yellowstone. I don't want to go to Banff. I don't want to go to the Everglades. I don't want to go to Denali. I don't want to go to all these cool places because other people have already been there. There's really no wilderness left anymore. But yeah, Marie, thank you. She says she believes it's been 12. I think you're possibly correct. But wouldn't you walk on the surface of the moon if you were given the shot? So if it's new to you, it's an adventure. So for me, as I get ready for this 81 to win, it's something that I'm really not all that terribly good at, and I'm still learning how to do this whole thing of radio. But for you, what is it you could say, yeah, other people may have done it before, but I've never done it? If a career singing is new to you, then it's an adventure. If a career as an entrepreneur is new to you, then it's an adventure. If any of the things that you've wanted to do in life that just hold you back, or maybe you yourself are holding you back, you can look at yourself in the mirror and go, yeah, but if it's new to me, it's an adventure. If I've never done it before, that's all that matters. And yes, I'm very honored. And they said, oh, well, Guinness, you know what? You'll be officially certified. You'll do this, you'll do that. But going for the world record is never about being able, I'm probably not going to have a t-shirt that says Guinness World Record holder. It's not about the record anywhere other than in my own mind. Hi, Mr. Spider. He's just sitting there hanging out. Right? It's the record in my own mind that there was something that I was not very good at. Now, if they said, oh, run a marathon. Yeah, I've done that. Oh, run a triathlon. Well, I've done that. Oh, do this. Oh, do that. Well, I've done that. I've done that. But what's fascinating to me is that it's something I've never done. Can I stay awake for 81 hours? We're going to find out here in 3 short months. So you could say, Brad, that's great for you. You're going. As Heather says, life is an adventure. I can't wait for the 81. Well, thank you, Heather, very much. I take going to the moon, and I know hundreds of people who would pay to send me there. You're on a roll. I would not be one of those, brother, that would pay to send you to the moon. Ooh, I'd pay to keep you there, right? I'd make sure you made it, and then I'd just go, nah, let's just remand them there. I'm just teasing. Rita says it's always the journey. Joseph said it's the experience. So as we talk about from time to time this 81 to win, this crazy, insane idea I have about setting a world record, well, I'm just trying to set a record inside of my own mind. Of all the people were certain that I wouldn't be able to do it, of all the people that were certain that we'd never make it through the 24 hours. Like Gorgon Medusa, right? Like if I made it to 24 hours, I was going to turn into stone. Never move again, right? Who knows what the 81 holds? Mary says, one time in the past, I had a stillborn baby the same month that Joe got laid off of his job. I'm very sorry to hear that, my friend. It was pretty tough. But through it, I grew closer to God, closer to Joe, and closer to my extended family. This could have derailed us, but we learned and grew through it and ended up having 5 more children after that. God love you guys. Adventure. What would you do if it were new to you? What world record do you have? And again, if it isn't a world record, if you're not the first one to do it, what's the record for you? You go, oh, I'd really love to be able to do this. I'd really love to be able to do that. What specifically would you do? All right, let's go ahead and take a call. Oh, let's hit this little button here. Good evening. Welcome to All Natural Being.
How are you?
How are you, sir?
How's it going, kiddo?
Good. You're on a roll tonight. I love that. You know, people that I said, no, I'd pay to keep them there. Nah, it's just a joke. But it'd be cool, like if you could.
That I could get. I can understand that.
Yeah. I'd love it if you could get there with like a flashlight and be, just something that you could signal that, in fact, that you're there. That would be great to see. So I don't want to belabor the point. We're just talking this evening about the Guinness World Record attempt, the 81 to win. But Henry, you know what I mean? Like, what are some goals other people have that they've talked themselves out of, or they've let the committee vote talk them out of it? They're worried about what other people will say. They're worried they're not going to get enough thumbs up, or you could just go, the hell with them. Well, I'm going to do this for me. The 81 to win isn't about a world record. It's about me being able to say, no, here's something I set my mind to. And in fact, I pulled it off. So that's what we were talking about. But I'm interested, what are you talking about tonight on Thinking Re-Envision? Congratulations again over at IPMNation.com/TR now. Jumping, catapulting, leapfrogging, you could say, to the number 2 spot on Transitional Radio now. Congratulations.
Well, believe me, that's all to the thanks of everybody on the thread, Ben, and those listening out there that listening to your show. That's really helped. And I appreciate the support and all the loyalty that they send to me, too. I can't thank everybody enough. It's remarkable to be experiencing this. I've never in my dreams would have seen this coming. It was really amazing.
Very cool. Well, you do a great job. You deserve it.
Well, thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
So what are you yapping about tonight?
So thank you.
What are you yapping? I got a little spider in here. Did I tell you that?
What's that?
I got a little spider crawling around in here.
Oh, aren't you lucky?
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was. Oh, look, here's a little thing. All right, there you go.
Did you?
Huh? No, I just shoot him off so that, my luck, he'd crawl onto the computer. He's a pretty good size. He'd crawl onto the keyboard and hit end for the radio signal, or at least that'll be a good thing, like the dog ate my homework. That'll be a good excuse if it ever happens. I got to go, yeah, that damn spider crawled and disconnected the show. All right, enough about me. What are you going to be yammering on about tonight for the final half hour of the 8 o'clock hour on Transitional Radio now?
I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm just going to go back and recover some of the ideas of whether or not if people are actually really looking to change, or they're really looking for self-renewal, or is it really just kind of sounds like the in thing to say? So we're going to kind of talk about that a little bit and see what people have done to go ahead and start changing themselves and dealing with the self-renewal and that sort of stuff. Or nothing. It doesn't matter. I'd just be curious as to what it is. It kind of goes in line with what you're saying as far as some of the hurdles and the things that we've had to deal with in our lives, and how we've been talked into, or how we've been talked out of stuff. But I think too, some on the other side of the coin, I think would be very interesting to talk about some of the things we've been talked into doing. Ooh. That really wasn't the best thing for us to do. Both sides.
Sure. And ultimately, as you know, as I believe, when people say, "Oh, you must," when I say now that I have a face for, a mind on fire, a chip on my shoulder, and a face for radio, ultimately, whatever I said either yes or no to, I'm the one that said yes or no.
Absolutely.
So it leaves me in a position to go, I'm not going to point the finger at anyone else. I'm not going to blame anybody else. It's not like I was abducted, right? It's not like I was a hostage, right?
Exactly.
Well, I chose to do it myself.
And part of it's being honest. It's going back to that thing I did on honesty. It's, it's looking in the mirror and trusting to place those fingers out there every time you point in the mirror. Every one of them points back at you. So, that's the thing, the honesty of it all in our lives. What have we done? What have we chosen not to do? Sure. And we've tried to blame other people for it. And it's not anybody's fault but ours.
If I could interrupt just for a second. One, I never look in the mirror. You get a mugshot like mine. It's a lot. I brush my teeth in the dark. Honest to God, I really do. I go, I can't stand that close to my reflection. Let me just do this real quick because it's a song I've heard for years at night. Itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. What was it? Well, hold on. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and I think it's dried up all the rain.
Yep.
And the itsy bitsy spider. Thank you, Joseph and Mary. Oh, I could have played heavy metal. See, damn it. This is Henry where you have to have your guitar. You're the real guitar player.
God,
I'm the real air guitar player. But the itsy bitsy spider. You're absolutely right. Yeah, caught a snake in the backyard yesterday, or a day before. Let the boys play with that. They love that. So maybe I should catch this spider and take it up.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. All right, brother, I know you got to get ready to go, but we're talking about self-renewal. Do we believe in it? Do we not believe in it? Do we just think it's a cool thing to do? Because you know my opinion, Henry. I see all the time people say, oh, well, do you want a class on guided meditation so you can reach your higher self? And I go, no, but I have a sledgehammer. If you'd like to come stand a little bit closer, well, I'll give you some self-renewal. You believe me, when I'm done, you'll feel different than you do.
Well,
right? Before I throw you on the anvil.
Having met you are the definition of people that have changed and and really understand self-renewal and have modified the way you think. So I've got my hats off to you because you walk the talk, you live it.
I will thank you, and I will tell you, I was paid the best compliment today, and only you will go, yeah, Brian, no wonder you thanked him for it. He goes, yeah, I look at myself as a little more Eckhart Tolle, and view you as a little more Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
And I wanted to hug him. Genghis Khan, who gets paid a compliment like that? I'm into it.
Compliment. I love it.
A little more, right? He's a little more country. I'm a little more rock and roll. Right? He's like we talk all the time. The difference between a little kumbaya and a little kick-ass. So yeah, I got labeled Genghis Khan today. Yeah, and Mary says karaoke. It's itsy bitsy spider for the marathon. Yes, and I also have to thank my friend Jamie if she's watching for the Snoopy doll because I don't know if you knew this, Henry, but I thought the song all those years was "Hang On Snoopy," and she's like, "Well, you live in Ohio, you must know it's Hang On Sloopy." And Sloopy, I thought Sloopy was like a drink. She goes, "No, that's a Slurpee, idiot." Yeah. Well, I thought the song was "Hang On Snoopy," so we could do that. The mighty Thor hammer. Yes, Marcellus, that's exactly what I was going for, brother. Thank you. Marcellus says, chop Bockham, Brian, and go for the win. Henry, I know I got to let you go. I promised I wouldn't hold you over. Thank you so very much, as always. Have an absolutely great show this evening, and I'll look forward to catching up with you afterwards.
We'll talk at you later.
Sounds good. Thanks, brother. Tell Rita we said howdy.
Sounds
all right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Bye now. All right, so here's the thing that I wanted to make mention. Climbed up the water spout. You're absolutely right. What are the things that we allow, right? Can't blame our neighbors, can't blame the person doing it, can't blame anyone else. What are the things that we allow to derail us? What are the things that we decide will chop block us? What are the things that we can do right now to go, you know what? I'm just not going to put up with life's crap anymore. I'm going to rise to the occasion. I'm going to do whatever I have to do, and I'm going to make it win. Not because I'll be the first to ever have done it, but because it will be the first time that I've done it. I had tacos for dinner, which is always a crapshoot, right? When you get ready to do a live show and you have tacos a couple hours earlier. I don't know what I was thinking. That's the shunt talking. So think about it. As you go through your day, you get ready for Wednesday, hump day, what are some of the things that you've turned your back on? You've turned a blind eye and a deaf ear to your own abilities, your own potential, your own mouth-watering natural resources, that if you chose to employ them and go for the shot, you'd have a permanent smile on your face, like taking a permanent magic marker and, what was it, like the Riddler in Batman, just drawing a permanent smile on your face. All right, we got to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so very much for joining us at All Natural Being. Don't forget on the new YouTube page, Transitional Radio. Oh, good golly. Is it Transitional Radio Now? There you go. I blew that. Transitional Radio Now or TR Official. I don't know what it is, but you'll figure it out over on YouTube. Thank you so very much for joining me. We will see you tomorrow night. Don't forget to stick around. Henry G. Noel is coming up with Thinking Re-Envision. Thank you all so very much. We will see you tomorrow night. If I learned how to do the close of my own show right, huh?